Hi, my name is Tessa, and I hate my stepmom. It's so odd to even call her that because Samantha is younger than me. Dad divorced Mom when I was a kid, and I never had any problems with either of them dating other people. I understood that they were single and deserved love, so I was happy whenever my mother or father found someone they liked. I tried to get along with their partners and behaved around them as best I could. The problems, though, began when my dad got a middle-age crisis. On his 47th birthday, he got a brand new red convertible. I chuckled at this and thought it was such a cliche, but didn't think much about it. If he liked it, so be it. It seemed inoffensive enough. I was so wrong. Later, he began dressing as a much younger man, and I thought he looked so ridiculous. He went dancing to clubs meant for people in their 20s and 30s. It seemed so silly to me, but he was happy, so I kept an open mind about it. Finally, though, he arrived home with a blonde bimbo who introduced herself as Samantha. It was clear she was a gold digger from the get-go, but Dad didn't seem to realize this fact. She was looking around the mansion we lived in, and it seemed she was putting a price tag to every single piece of furniture in the place. She clearly saw my dad as a free ride, and it bothered me so much. I instantly disliked her and wasn't as pleasant toward her as I had been to my dad's previous dates. She had this perfect manicure and tight dress, speaking in this Valley Girl accent that made me roll my eyes every time she opened her mouth. Much to my dismay, Samantha kept coming over more and more frequently as time went by. Why was my dad interested in her? I couldn't understand it. Sure, she was hot and young, only 19, but it seemed so strange to me. My dad was 50, successful and charming. What could he possibly have in common with that annoying bimbo? I figured that he would get bored with her after a while. Surely when the novelty of her pretty face faded away, he'd find himself a real girlfriend. Much to my horror, he kept bringing her to our home over and over again. Their relationship seemed to be getting more serious, and I decided I needed to speak up. I talked to my dad about Samantha, telling him exactly what I thought about her. I told him she seemed like a gold digger and that she wasn't really interested in him. All she wanted was his wallet, and I didn't want to see him get used that way. He assured me I didn't know Samantha the way he did and explained he planned to keep dating her. I sighed and accepted that he wasn't ready to see the truth yet, so I dropped the subject and focused on my studies. The situation only got worse before long. Dad actually proposed to Samantha, and she said yes. They had this lavish, ridiculous wedding. Samantha was the worst bridezilla I had ever dealt with. She wanted the most expensive dress, the most extravagant location, and forced me to be one of her bridesmaids just to annoy me. I had to wear the ugliest dress, and I couldn't refuse because it would hurt my dad's feelings. After the wedding, Samantha's intentions became even more obvious. She spent so much money every single day going on these massive shopping sprees. She'd arrive every evening with handfuls of shopping bags. At first, I didn't intervene. After all, each time I did, Dad thought I was overreacting. But as her purchases continued to grow with time, I couldn't handle it any longer. I told her that she needed to stop using my dad as her personal piggy bank, and she immediately took offense. That time around, though, I didn't back down. We began screaming at each other and yelling all kinds of nasty insults. Dad asked us to stop, and I stormed outside trying to calm myself down. I decided I needed to avoid her altogether from then on, but Samantha had other ideas. A few days later, I was studying in my room when she stormed inside, screaming at me for a perceived sight. Samantha told me it was her house now, and I had to respect her and call her my mom. Apparently, she felt offended I had introduced her as Samantha earlier that day when a few friends came to visit me. Samantha screamed that I needed to leave her house, and I told her it was my dad's mansion, not hers. Dad entered my room and tried to get us to stop arguing, but this time it didn't work. Samantha wasn't having it. She began screaming over and over again that she wanted me out of the house right that instant. My dad tried to reason with her, but she was hysterical. Dad looked so lost. I felt kind of bad for him. At the same time, it annoyed me that he was so weak around her. He finally pulled me aside and asked me to leave. He didn't want to kick me out, but clearly I simply couldn't get along with his new bride. I stormed out, furious, and refused to speak to my dad for a few days. He called me over and over, and finally, I agreed to have coffee with him. Dad explained that he didn't want to live in a house in a constant state of war. He wanted to buy me a brand new apartment and promised he'd visit me often. Samantha wouldn't be coming around. I reluctantly agreed. I was really hurt he was picking his wife over me, but he wasn't abandoning me to my luck either. Dad was in love with a manipulative woman, and there was nothing I could do about it. I live alone nowadays, and Dad is still married to that bimbo. I'm afraid one day he'll realize how much he's used him over the years. I don't want my dad to suffer that disappointment, but at the same time, at least that'll mean Samantha will be out of our lives. In the meantime, I stay far away from his annoying wife. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos on the channel.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I wear women's panties. Some people might think it's weird, but they are far better than anything else I've tried. Let me tell you a bit more about how I came to wear only panties. As a kid, I absolutely hated wearing briefs and boxers. No matter how much my mom insisted, I tried to do anything not to wear them. Sometimes I went commando just to avoid using anything so uncomfortable. My mom would scold me as a child, and she wanted to teach me how to dress appropriately. I have to admit, my mom was the best. She tried to buy me all kinds of male underwear, all kinds of fabrics and options. She was very understanding, but forbade me from going out without wearing either briefs or boxers. I got so frustrated every morning and would spend the rest of the day feeling so uncomfortable. I really wanted to find some kind of solution, so I began wondering if women's underwear were as uncomfortable as the ones I used. So one day, while Mom was out shopping, I snuck into her room. I began searching through her drawers and discovered colorful, pretty panties that looked so silly. At first, I wasn't too sure if I should wear them or not, since it was supposed to be for girls only. Could I really wear them as a boy, or would it be too weird? I ended up deciding to give it a shot, but I knew I had to keep it a secret, at least at first. I rushed to my room, eager to try the panty I had grabbed on. It was a light blue, silky model, and the moment I slipped it on, it felt amazing. Unlike my briefs and boxers, they fit just right and made me feel like I was wearing nothing at all. I knew my mom would realize something was off if I didn't give her underwear to wash, so I would put my boxers in the laundry bin, pretending I had used them all through the day. I cleaned up the blue pair of panties and dried them stealthily so that my mom wouldn't realize what was going on. Still, soon enough, I wanted more than just the same old panties, so I waited for Mom to leave the house again. When no one was at home, I grabbed 2 more pairs and hid them in my bedroom, happy to have new options to wear. The problem was, my mom realized soon enough that panties were missing from her drawers. At first, she searched for them throughout the rest of the house, and even in the washing machine. When she couldn't find them anywhere, she ended up coming into my room and was shocked to discover her panties there. When I came back from school, my mom was waiting for me with an annoyed and concerned expression on her face. She confronted me about the panties I had stolen from her, and I apologized for lying and sneaking around. Mom explained to me that I couldn't wear girls' underwear, and I got really upset. Mom asked me if I liked boys and to dress up like a girl, but I explained it was merely a matter of comfort. I liked girls and felt like a boy, but the panties felt much better than any of the underwear I had tried before. It was a long conversation, and she ended up understanding my point of view. She told me I could wear panties, but that she would buy me my own since I couldn't keep on using hers. That wasn't right. And I agreed. So we went out shopping, and I got a few beautiful panties. All fit perfectly. I thanked my mom. She truly was the best. I was relieved she had understood and supported me. The problems turned out to come from my classmates, though. At first, no one realized anything was different about me. Still, teenagers miss no opportunity to bully someone who doesn't fit the normal standards. The first time someone noticed, I was in gym class and had taken off my shirt. It was scorching outside, so most of my classmates did the same. The problem was that when I jumped, my pants slightly slipped down and one of my friends could see the hem of the panties. I denied it immediately and pretended nothing was wrong. My friend kept his mouth shut and decided to believe my excuse, but I wasn't so lucky the second time around. I bent over to tie my laces, and a few guys behind me noticed the panties I was wearing. That time around, there was no chance of denying it. So I decided to own up to it. I was tired of having to hide and lie. Why should I when I was doing nothing wrong? I told them that, yeah, I was wearing panties, and I didn't feel ashamed. It was so much more comfortable, and they should try it as well. I'll admit that at first they mocked me and messed with me, calling me nasty names and telling me there was no way I didn't like other guys. But I remained confident and firm in my decisions, and eventually they left me alone. I still wear panties every single day. In fact, I have a nice collection of them because I like to mix them up. They are great, so soft and comfy. In fact, I'd love to create a new kind of underwear that can be used both by men and women that includes the best of both worlds. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll be able to start a business of my own one day and make lots of money from it. Thanks for watching. Has anyone ever mocked you because of the clothes you choose to wear? And don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos on the channel.